Oh my god. Higurashi.
What the fuck?
Shout out to my boy MLK.
I had a dream.
He had a dream so that two white boys could record Higurashi on a Monday in January. So now, I stole his joke, by the way. Now, we're here, or this is the first recording of 2024. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been, what? 3? 2? 2.5?
It's like 2021, right? Is when we started?
So it's been, I think it's been probably like 2.5.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. 2.5 to 2 1/3.
I as soon as whenever you moved out, like the instant you moved out, I started doing it.
Yeah, so it would have been January of 21.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck, it's been 3 years. Because we're in January of 24.
Happy 3-year anniversary. We are nearly done. And who the fuck is talking?
Happy 3-year anniversary. We're never gonna finish Higurashi. We're gonna fucking record this stupid fucking game for the rest of time.
I don't know how I'm gonna. We're just gonna be like halfway done with the Umineko by the time Higurashi's done uploading.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I'm thinking about with Umineko too, because like, man, you know, sure, you look at it and it's like, holy fuck, we've taken 3 years to get through Higu. But it's also like, that's been learning how Ryukishi writes, learning how to record, setting all of our stuff up. We used to be streaming, we used to do this. Like, it also used to be not nearly as consistent as it is now. Because it took us like a year to get through Onikakushi.
It took us for fucking ever.
It took for fucking ever.
Because we just didn't have like we never set down a set schedule.
No.
Or like how often do we want to do this? We were just like, I would just like ask, I think.
Yeah.
When are you free?
And then we'd be like, okay, let's do Higu, and then it would be like an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's how we were with Tanagashi too. Is like with trying to stream it and like figuring all that shit out. Like, Tatari Goroshi was definitely when we actually got the logistics figured out of how the fuck to do this. And then look at that. After we did that, it's a game every what, 4 months? Like 3-4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
All right.
This is, I'm gonna say, excellent.
Yeah. We don't get a text log when you load in. Alright. Okay, this is the banquet section. Can you hear me? One more speech and then we'll move on to toast. Move on to a toast. Are you ready?
Is this at Tokyo? This is back end. We're ready. We can't hear anything from inside, so please give us a cue when the speech is finishing up. Yeah, this is talking about...
Oh, so what happened
Tokyo
last time?
thing.
I remember we were seeing Akasaka's POV after.
Oh yeah, and he was kicking everyone's ass.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a fucking...
And then he was kicking his own ass.
Yeah.
Over letting Rika Furuta die.
And then Rika was like, I can transmit your consciousness.
10 bottles per table, okay? Make sure you serve your bottles smoothly. Young waiters with bow ties got bottles of beer ready for a toast. I mean, this is Tokyo. There are several dozen tables with white tablecloths on them in the banquet room. Approximately 8 people are sitting at each table, so there are at least a few hundred people there. The banquet room is teeming with excitement. There are many plates with different kinds of food on each table. A sushi platter, a sashimi platter, and a fruit platter. Also, along the wall, there are cooks ready to serve fresh sashimi. All the guests appear to be well-mannered gentlemen. Obviously, there are notable people from different fields.
Yeah, it's definitely Tokyo.
The huge and beautiful chandelier above them clearly tells that this hotel holds a status good enough for those famous people. An elderly gentleman is giving a long speech on stage before making a toast. I think usually people don't like such long speeches. I think we are recovering old ground here.
Yeah, we are.
Usually people don't like such long speeches, especially if it's before a toast. But the guests are actually excited with this speech. Maybe the word excited isn't suitable. Maybe it should be described as an upsurge in a strange way.
It's a Ryukishi never repeats himself moment.
You want to be the guy? Speech guy?
Do I get to be the old man? Anyway, Japan accepted the demand for unconditional surrender, and the day they did, the Pacific War ended. In other words, even if they had to take care of further business, the war ended that day according to international law. and from that day on there was peace. Therefore, if any troops invaded Japanese land during that peace, that would be an encroachment against Japan. No matter what the Soviet Union says, the Northern Territories are Japanese land, and it should be clear to everyone that they are invaded illegally. And now they want to settle by returning a mere 2 islands to us? Who do they think they're kidding? Listen.
Habomai.
Oh my god. Habomai, Shikotan, and
Kunashiri.
Habomai, Shikotan, and Kunashiri, and Iturup are Japanese territory. Their total area is equal to an entire prefecture. What would you think if the Soviets invaded and occupied one of our prefectures? Would you settle for just getting a half of the prefecture back? No, you wouldn't. You'd have the entire... what? You'd have the entirety. Oh, you'd have the entirety returned to you. Yet the Soviets are brazenly sitting there claiming vested rights to the land. This is no joke. We must strongly oppose this to the bitter end. Return all the northern islands. Our nation must demonstrate unwavering resolve on that point.
Thunderous applause filled the banquet room. All the gentlemen agreed, and expressed that they felt that way by cheering him on. In all that hubbub, there were 2 people standing by the wall who didn't seem to fit in with the rest. Some Persona fucking music.
Yeah, I know.
I think we heard this.
Akasaka has such goofy ass tracks in everything that he fucking does.
They were wearing sharp-looking suits, and while a little too old to be called young men, they were certainly young compared to We're certainly young compared to all the elderly gentlemen in the banquet room.
Yo, what the fuck is this track called?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
It's possible that this is like an April update track.
This track bangs. Oh my god. Akasaka, the other guy.
You're Akasaka, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, the first one is the other guy.
Why do politicians always tend to lean right or nationalist and be so partisan?
That's simple. What politicians want most are votes. And votes are cast by their constituents. But not everyone over 20 actually votes. Voter turnout is highest amongst those who are retired and have free time. So the elderly interested in politics monopolize the votes.
Based Akasaka fucking living in reality. Oh my god.
Dude, Akasaka is actually so fucking real.
And that means the key to their election is whether or not they can secure the elderly vote.
Yeah, the war only happened 40 years ago. In other words, the generation that's interested in voting is the generation from before the war.
My mother talks about air raids often. She used to live near Suidobashi, and she lost all her family in the air raid. She had to walk across the burnt fields all alone.
Dude, how does Ryukishi expect me to focus when he puts this goddamn track on?
I'm pretty sure this is an April update track.
Like the lyrics busted out, and I was just like, ooh, okay. Ryukishi, man, chill, calm it down.
Like a second.
Yeah, that's right. Our parents went through the war. They shed their blood, sweat, and tears, believing it was for the good of the nation. And we lost the war, but they believe the war still brought about change that serves as a foundation for the peace we have today.
I hear that a lot. That if Japan hadn't fought in the war, the Asian countries would still be in Western colonies. There was no way we could have won, but we needed that fight. We needed to fight in that war, or something like that.
Cope. In that case, no matter how much they preach pacifism, politicians can't ignore the pre-war generation. War is bad, and we should never again fight a war. But that war was necessary. And unless they say things like that, it's like they're denying the very lives that generation lived.
I see. Politicians have to work hard to earn votes, huh?
However, it would be one thing if they were truly proclaiming their own beliefs, but...
They're grifters.
Yep. Many of them are simply saying that to get elected. As long as there are politicians trying to win over what remains of the pre-war generation, This country's post-war era will never end.
That's how the ghosts of the war will pass. That's how the ghosts of the war will pass their will into the next generation, and keep things the same for the next millennium. They'll just keep repeating that war was justified yet regrettable every time an election takes place. When will our country ever be freed from that cycle?
It's simple. Young people need to vote. Thank you, Ryukishi, for based Ryukishi educating the masses. And don't be fooled by the war stories. Vote for those actually pushing policies. Realistic policies, that is.
Yeah. There are a few who talk about some pretty unrealistic things. Akasaka-san, isn't that the F table?
People talking about pretty unrealistic things. And then you cut here. Yang gang, baby! There she is. Let's go.
The speech had ended, and elderly gentlemen were giving the man on the stage a standing ovation. The two men walked through the crowd and approached an old lady in a kimono. Yes, that would be me, but who are you?
Okay. I made an appointment with you on the phone yesterday. I'm Akasaka. Akasaka to me, baby. I don't know if I made that joke yet.
I don't know what that joke is. Oh, my husband works so hard for this country. Even so.
You know, Austin Powers?
I haven't watched any of the movies, I just know jokes.
Oh my goodness. Ma'am, I understand what you're going through.
This really wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Nobody could remember if there had been a donation or not. So a handful of politicians were questioned. As a result, some came up with a scheme to blame a sickly, elderly man who had already retired. With only a short time to live anyway, he was the perfect fit for them.
Based.
The elderly man had already been sick in bed, and the shock of his friends betraying him had taken away his will to live. The only thing his wife could do was simply watch him suffer. She kept crying while telling the man about her husband's achievements.
Just Koizumi? If your husband is in fact innocent, a judge will rule accordingly. Don't worry.
This should be Akasaka.
Oh, is this? Alright. If your husband is in fact innocent, a judge will rule accordingly. Don't worry. All false accusations will be cleared.
I already know that, because he's innocent. But he won't live to see the verdict. He worked so hard for this country, and this is what he gets in return at the end. How can he rest in peace? Akasaka nodded and tried to find the right words to say to her. His colleague rummaged through a pile of paperwork behind him. The papers were filled with fine print, and it would be hard for an onlooker to tell exactly what they were. However, the way he was looking at them made it very clear they contained something important. Akasaka-san, this is amazing. These records this records exactly how much money was moved. Akasaka gave him a signal to remind him that this wasn't the place to be looking through those documents.
Madam, there isn't any more paperwork, is there?
No, that was the only thing in his safe. Please, use it to get back at those ingracious bastards. My husband did so much for them, and yet they... Oh!
Madam, you do understand that some things in these documents will implicate him, don't you?
Yes, I understand that. One can't be honest all the time when one is a politician. I am his wife, after all.
Thank you for your cooperation. I will use this to expose the injustice that was done to him.
Only one thing. May I ask you just one thing, though? Could you wait until my husband passes away before making this public? The paperwork Akasaka received was something her husband intended to take to the grave with him. Something that shouldn't exist in this world. If it went public, her husband's name would be disgraced. Akasaka nodded.
I understand. You have my word.
Vast public funds were moving from Kasumigaseki.
Nice.
The funds were issued to sub-branches to carry out national policies, but various ideas over those public funds always came together, and there was never an end to those trying to poke a straw into it to suck it out like a mosquito. Excess dividends, cordial patronage, profits for organizations that benefited themselves. Many financiers approach and adhere to those politicians hoping to earn those gains, and the bureaucrats constantly indulge them. That's how Japanese corruption works. These illegal pipes form bypass after bypass in Kasumigaseki, siphoning off public funds for their profit. To find and destroy such pipes is, of course, in the national interest. But eliminating illegal expenditures isn't as simple as all that. They are connected to those pipes, and when those people are investigated, a major political scandal takes place. The reason why the government doesn't investigate such illegal expenditures is not only to protect vested interests, but also because they are conscious of the damage those scandals can cause politically. To put it more succinctly, the government can endure the pain of pushing pus out of a wound. The closer the exposed subject is to the top, the greater the pain faced by the government, and that affects the cabinet approval rating. The closer the subject is to the core, the more extensive the damage to the heart. The secret investigation Akasaka was leading went as close to the heart as it got, and could cause the collapse of the administration from shock. Akasaka was tipped off that a huge amount of public funding was leaking out through an alumni organization of the 7 imperial universities. So he and his colleagues had been conducting a secret investigation into the matter for a long time. His target was tightly knit, but he learned the wife of one of the organization's senior members bore strong resentment toward them after her husband was made their scapegoat, and he managed to contact her. And because of that, he had got his hands on extremely important information.
Bro, he's after Tokyo in this.
Good work, everyone! We've almost gathered enough proof. What Akasaka-kun has brought us is particularly shocking. You must have worked hard to get it. Great work!
Thank you.
The small meeting room was filled with boxes that were, in turn, filled with documents. A whiteboard was filled with cramped writing, too. A few of the investigators in the meeting room, which was also filled with smoke, were reading the documents intensely. Their intimidating manner clearly indicated that they were police officers with a great deal of experience. Akasaka was one of those men. It had been a while since Mamoru Akasaka was transferred to this department. When he was working on the case of the kidnapping of Minister Inukai's grandson. Inukai? I thought it was Inukai. Minister Inukai's grandson. He had been a rookie, but by now he was an experienced investigator. After a knock on the door, an elderly man entered the room. Everyone straightened up all at once. Sir, thank you for stopping by.
Like this jobber voice. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Oh, whoops. Thank you. No. Nah, yeah, what? You know what? He's your wise guy today. Thank you. You don't need to stand. Relax. I brought a wonderful gift for you all today. Kano. You'll get to go. Kano, you'll get to go to your son's parent day meeting after all.
The meeting room was filled with sighs, tinged with exasperation and resignation. It certainly wasn't because any of them hated getting to go to Parents' Day.
This is Kano.
I don't know, it doesn't matter. I knew it. I thought it was about time. Shit. Akasaka's colleague complained. They had been so close to getting to the root of this issue. They had such strong evidence. Akasaka, on his part, wasn't too disturbed. This had happened several times in the past, and considering how hot the documents he obtained were, it was easy enough to predict. The case was suddenly transferred to another department. That meant their investigation ended here. The new department was supposed to continue the investigation to expose injustices, but that's never happened once before. It was just an excuse. The investigation had been terminated because of pressure from above. Damn it! What about everything we've worked for so far?
Akasaka for sure. It was just to see how much it hurt to push out the pus. And they realized it would be too painful, so they decided not to treat the wound.
In that sense, their hard work wasn't wasted. Because of it, the investigation was terminated. Akasaka understood that, but his colleague wasn't yet mature enough to understand. Of course, Akasaka's sense of justice was displeased by this. He felt frustrated with his superiors, who had hesitated to expose the truth. But he was mature enough to know not to say that out loud. Oh, it's the guy.
And we'll organize what we have and hand it over to the other end later. Anyway, since you haven't had a day off for a long time, you don't have to wait till 5 p.m. to leave today. Please go home and get some rest. And we'll talk about what's left to do tomorrow. Also, don't forget to use up your vacation time, too. Make sure you take vacation and give a treat to your spouses. And Chief, please come with me. That will be all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Though his long, secret investigation left a bad taste in his mouth with its resolution, he managed to earn a holiday until the next incident arrived.
Well, I guess I'll do what he says. Everyone go home and get some rest.
If you go home that early, you might find out your wife is having an affair, you know? Dumbass, you don't know any... I think it's...
Oh.
Dumbass, you don't know anything. Akasaka-san and his wife are madly in love. He calls her every night from the public phone on a different building.
How do they know that? I envy you, Akasaka. My wife is pretty cold.
Akasaka smiled bitterly as he gathered the documents in his hands. One of the pages fell to the floor. It was a page from a huge pile of papers documenting illegal expenditures. They exposed the illegal expenditures of the Alphabet Project and the research team for the next generation of hardware in the Defense Agency. It was entirely possible that this project was created in the first place for the purpose of funding these illegal expenditures. When he saw the paper, one thing caught Akasaka's eye. He picked it up, looked at it, and tried to remember. There's a list of people who...
Good talk.
Gotta love the parking deck right next to the building. There was a list of people who illegally received public funds. There's also a list of retirees who were still very much in love with money. There should have been no connection between those people and Akasaka. However, there was one thing that caught his attention. The EDA... Oh, you're saying...
Oh. The EDA clinic. Huh.
As soon as he said it, all sorts of memories resurfaced.
Dude, she actually unlocked Akasaka.
Yes, the EDA clinic. When he was working on the case of Minister Inukai's grandson's abduction, he got into a scuffle with the suspects and became injured. He was taken to the local clinic. As he recalled, the name of that clinic was the EDA clinic. He started to remember one thing after another. His very first experience with wading into the muck. It was burnt into his mind like a fresh memory, and he could vividly recall everything that happened. His daughter was about to be born, and he really didn't want to go to Hinamizawa. He met Oishi, who taught him a lot of important things. He also met a girl in that village. Her name was, yes, Rika Furude. That was it. How long had it been? How old was she now? As he remembered her lovely smile, he also remembered the ominous prediction she made. She had predicted that if he didn't go back to Tokyo, something horrible would happen. At the time, he took it as nonsense, but he felt something odd about it, as if it was a divine omen. Then he had remembered Yukie, who was about to give birth. He became concerned that something terrible would happen to her. But he couldn't just leave and go back to Tokyo. That's why he called her right away. He told her something would happen. He told her to be very careful until he returned. Yukie had laughed and told him he was being paranoid. But that phone call indeed saved her from a calamity.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Akasaka had found out about that when he visited her after returning to Tokyo. A few days after his phone call, a janitor was seriously injured when he stepped on a loose tile on the stairs on his way to the rooftop. He also heard afterwards that Yukie had a habit of going up to the roof for a walk every day. But because of his phone call, she had stopped doing it. If he hadn't called her, she would have been the one to step on the loose tile. In other words, Rika Furude's prediction had been correct. There was no proof, but Akasaka still believed that he was able to save Yukie only because of Rika Furude's prediction. He'd intended to call and thank her for saving Yukie, but the busy days that followed put it out of his mind. Rika-chan. He wondered if she was still doing well, if she was still smiling. Akasaka remembered the sad prediction she made on that night under the moon, while still wearing that smile. That's right, she'd said something. She predicted someone would get killed on the night of the festival every year, and that on the 5th year in, she'd be the one to be killed. That's right. He thought she did say that. The 5th year, that's this year. The festival that's right, it's in June. If you remember correctly, it happens on the last Sunday of the month. Akasaka looked at the calendar. It was June 1983. Although there was still some time, the death she predicted for herself was coming up. The girl who predicted Yukie's accident also prophesied a mysterious incident would occur annually for the next 5 years. If they'd actually been happening, then it would happen again this year. Akasaka wondered if Oishi was still at the Okinomiya PD. If the annual incident she predicted actually was taking place, he would know. In other words, he could confirm if Rika Furude was going to be killed or not with a phone call to Oishi. The girl who predicted her own death had muttered that she didn't want to die. Muttered? No. It was clearly a plea for help. A young girl was trapped in the fathomless, bizarre traditions of a village she couldn't escape. A young girl who was trapped in the fathomless, bizarre traditions of a village she couldn't escape had sought help from him, an outsider. She paid his reward in advance, in the form of foreseeing Yukie's accident. He had to get to her. He had to go save her. A flood of emotions filled him up. He felt as though he had finally remembered something he was never supposed to forget. That's right. He had to go to Hinamizawa. He had to save the girl who asked him for help.
Dude, Akasaka's so based. He's such a good character, man.
Hello, Okinomiya PD.
Hello. This is Kurado Oishi still working in your investigation department? If he is, may I talk with him, please?
Excuse me, may I ask who's calling?
Could you tell him it's Akasaka from the police headquarters?
Oishi was a very lively person, but he had been old even back then. Maybe he had already transferred somewhere else, or maybe he'd since retired. But if he was still there, he'd be happy to hear from Akasaka. He sure had a unique laugh.
Yes, he did.
Oishi-san, there's a phone call for you. Someone from the police headquarters in Tokyo. Oh, Tokyo! Who could that be? Hello, this is Oishi. What? Oh my, and how have you been? No.
I feel like Akasaka and Oishi would unironically be great friends. Especially now that he's older and bitter because his investigations keep getting canceled.
Yes, sir. The first miracle is welcome a new student.
Man, fuck on you.
Alright, we got some tips. No tips.
Hell no. When do we ever fucking have tips?
We're 30 minutes in. You were just gonna keep going? Or you wanna pause and get water?
I was gonna say pause, get water. I got.
Okay, we're continuing.
Well, welcome back.
We're not welcoming back. We just got water.
Yeah, welcome
but we
back
were talking about Monster Hunter again.
Welcome back to
our
rehydrating.
internal. What's like a nice way to say prison?
Hell.
No.
Confines?
I don't know.
Calligraphy.
Commitment. Our eternal commitment to this goddamn franchise that does not love us as much as it should.
That's so true.
We won't get to play it until 2026, bro. Dude. Wilds, why?
When do you think this episode will come out after Wilds has come out?
It has,
because Wilds will
but
come
if
out
you put money
year.
down, you got pretty good odds. I'll be honest.
Yeah, Wilds will come out next year. This will probably also come out next year.
I'm also like peeking the mic apparently.
Well, future editing Tyler, if Wilds has come out,
do the pew 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 and
Yeah.
like
and throw up the throw up the IGN score of Monster Hunter Wilds.
and if it's not out, just play crawling in my skin. These wounds they will not heal.
But when you do that, can you overlay on the background the Half-Life 2 music video for In the End? And just have that as like the overlay in the background. Thank you. He's not gonna do any of that.
I'll see if I can find a. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna be sitting at my editing bay and be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna do any of this. I might drag and drop these wounds they will not heal. That kind of shit. I'll drag and drop that maybe. And if I feel like putting any effort in, I'll find a fucking AMV of it and put it in instead of Higurashi, or maybe even like a Monster Hunter one. We'll see.
The Monster Hunter crawl.
Sort by recently uploaded.
This goes hard.
Yeah, this is probably Rika.
Is this Rika or
Gorp
Keiichi?
Rika.
It's Keiichi.
Oh, it's Keiichi. It's not me. Woo.
Get fucked, dude. Hanyu has already grown used to being around us. Since Rika-chan and Sadako are her age, she's become especially close with them. Of course, Rina and Mion are looking after her too. Rina told me something the day Hanyu joined the class. She said that Hanyu had been close to us for a long time, and that she's been watching us play, and that she always wanted to join us. I still can't remember seeing her before, but somehow I can believe it. Hanyu has accepted all the things that surprised me at first, as if she knew about them all along. She knows everything about us, and it seems she's truly excited about to finally be able to join in. About finally being able to join in.
Hanyu's definitely part of our group now.
She sure is. It almost feels like she's been one of us the whole time. That can't be true, though.
No, it is. Ugh. No, it is. She's been by our side all this time.
That's my favorite thing about Rika. Is you fucking do the Rika voice, and then whatever happens, it's just like, oh, the little Rika voice. You're just like, hello, I'm Tyler. Huh? Are you saying that now too? Rina told me that a couple days ago. Is it just that I didn't notice? Yeah.
It's because you're dense, Keiichi. Me,
Star. Fine. So what if I'm dense? Why is she like this?
Why she got her arms up?
Why
all
does
the
she
time?
always have her fucking arms up, man? Rika. Ow, ow, ow. Why are you two sitting down? Are you tired?
You never feel tired, Hanyu. Meanwhile, we are exhausted.
Does she have the stupid ass arms up? And she doesn't have her fucking arms up in the other sprite.
Fucking inferior. At this point.
It's because I've waited so long to be able to play with you all. This isn't nearly enough. I want to play more and more. Ow, 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 Star. I fucking hate her. You're so full of energy. By the way, those things on your head, don't they fall off when you play? Keiichi reaches up to like pull them off and just drags her entire head with him. Ow. Hanyu has horns on her head. I thought that was a hair accessory of sorts, so I didn't want her to lose it while playing. I was gonna offer to hold it for her while she ran around. But Hanyu's face clouded over and she apologetically held onto her horns.
Keiichi, Hanyu can't take them off.
Huh?
Hanyu.
I see. Sorry about that. Oh, is it strange to have horns?
No, not at all. I think it's cute.
Yeah, K-Chan even has a...
He didn't see what those.
I fucking hate Mion Sotozaki. Yeah, K-Chan even has a horn between his legs, don't you? Though it's hard and curves backward. Whoa?
How? What kind of horn is between his legs? What kind?
Oh my god. Renaissance punch is still the one thing I can't follow. Are you all quite alright, Mian-san? There's a depression in your face. Everyone left except Hanyu, who didn't seem to get it. I shouldn't have said anything. I bet she doesn't like to talk about her horns. But if I try to apologize, I think things will get even more complicated. As I thought about what to say, Rena took the girls over to the shrine gate.
Don't worry about it, Keiichi. Hanyu tries not to let it bother her, but she hasn't had enough training. Meep.
So she doesn't like to talk about them, huh? Sorry, I'll be more careful.
Hanyu came to Hinamizawa a very long time ago.
She did? No wonder she knows so much about the village.
I don't know where she lived before she came here.
This is Rika.
I asked her once, but all she said was it was a place I wouldn't understand. Hanyu said that Hanyu's people couldn't live there anymore. They looked for a new place to live for a long time. They traveled a long way before arriving in Hinamizawa. There was a beautiful swamp in the area, and that was exactly what Hanyu's people were looking for.
Oh, so they're actually demons.
There was a village nearby where people lived. To show respect to the original inhabitants of an area was law among wandering people like Hanyu's. Her clan decided to live peacefully and coexist with the villagers. However, their attempts to coexist didn't go so well. The villagers were too childish and immature to accept those newcomers. They strongly rejected them and caused a terrible, tragic disaster. Hanyu said she took her form and descended upon this land in order to subdue that disaster. However, she just couldn't hide her horns. The forbidden and ancient documents say that Hanyu descended into the Furude Shrine, appearing as she does today. It also states the following: Hanyu's people can't live anywhere other than this village. They can also only live by coexisting with the villagers. The Furude Shrine's priest once rejected them, claiming that coexistence was impossible if mixing with the wandering people's blood caused the villagers to become demons. But the young heir of the Furude Shrine fell in love with Hanyu, and when their child was born, the priest had to reconsider.
You want to do the...
Oh, you think he's old or like younger?
I don't know.
Oh, wandering people who cannot hide your horns. If you wish to settle in this land, if you wish to settle with our blood, then I shall consider... Oh, this is on you. No?
Nope.
I shall consider granting your wish.
However, as the demon's blood mixed with the villagers, it became hard to tell who was human and who was demon. The villagers began to cast suspicion on one another, haunted by that paranoia. Unless all of that was resolved, coexistence would be impossible.
For you and us to coexist, we must lay down several laws for us to follow.
They will be very strict.
No, they will be very strict. I am very, very sorry for imposing these upon you who have lived in peace until now. However, as long as those rules are followed, the village will be free from demonic disaster. Hope that is on you.
On you, probably, I guess.
Sure. Oh, very well. The rules will be followed, but much blood has already been shed in the village. The anger, sins, and corruption people bear cannot be cleansed. The one law of the human world is that the sins are atoned for with life. I feel like they're...
I don't think so.
I see. If you say it's your way to let someone take on all responsibility and bury the sins with him, then we'll do that. However, wouldn't people end up pushing responsibility on each other because nobody wants to die? Exactly. And that's the ugly demon in the world of man. No one will accept their own sins, but only foist them onto each other. Since they can only clear the balance with their lives, everyone keeps refusing to pay and the sins just keep adding up. Without cleansing them, they stagnate, and people cast them upon each other forever, doubting each other and passing them around. I see.
Yeah, see, that's coexisting with us. Is like the shrine.
Okay. I see. If that is the unposable law of this world, and you yourselves are troubled by this law, then in exchange for coexisting with us, I shall grant you a world where people do not blame their sins on each other. What kind of world is it? So long as mankind exists, they will commit sins and give rise to corruption. How could that all be erased without foisting it onto somebody else? Let me bear all the sins and corruption born from man.
Oh, I don't know.
It's Jesus!
I guess this is on you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me bear all the sins and corruption born from man, and purify my soul. Let all sins rest not with man. If they are born upon myself, then man will not need to force them on each other. What are you saying? Are you really going to make yourself into a sacrifice? Someone has to take on the sins, otherwise they won't be cleansed. That's the law of your world, isn't it? Dude, she's Jesus!
A different ancient document also states the following. Of course, it's a forbidden one too. Only the head of the Furude family is allowed to read it. Nobody else. Not even the other heads of the three families. It tells that unrest grew in people's minds, that the villagers' evil hearts collected in the swamp and gave rise to demons. The Furude Shrine's priest explained that the root of all evil is the demon god of the swamp, and led the young villagers there. By the swamp, they found a demon mocking the unrest in people's hearts. The young villagers fought bravely, captured the demon, and dragged it to the Furude Shrine. The priest cleansed the demon god, opened her abdomen, and dragged out her organs. He chopped them up and washed them down the stream, then threw the body in the swamp. Then people regained their sanity. Those who had been suspicious of each other became friendly, and they all shared in the joy of peace again. If these forbidden ancient documents are real, then the object of the villagers' worship, Oyashiro-sama, was captured by the villagers, forced to bear all their sins, and torn to death. Plus, it's clearly written that the demons appeared after unrest grew in people's hearts. In other words, the demons were forced to bear the sin of discord that rested with man long before they arrived. Oyashiro-sama was a god who took on people's sins to mend conflicts between them. People eventually came to honor her, and it's said that that became the foundation of faith in Oyashiro-sama. I don't understand exactly what that means, but I know one thing. When none of us humans would draw the losing straw, she offered to draw it in our stead. To prove it, we cleansed our filth by letting cotton absorb it and drift it down the stream during the Watanagashi festival. There's no shame or shifting of responsibility involved. Until that system was created, we were simply demons who pushed our filth and our responsibility on each other. We could only cleanse our own sins by blaming someone else and sacrificing him by cutting open his abdomen, and Hanyu took on that job. A purification ceremony without a human life. A system that forgives people for their sins. That is the origin of the cult of Oyashiro-sama, which blames not people for their sins, but the curse. Those documents were sealed away. If they weren't, people would find out that the object of their own faith was falsely blamed and killed by their own ancestors. Hanyu apologizes. She takes in people's sins and keeps apologizing. When people can't deal with their own sins anymore, she accepts them. When Hanyu takes over, people are cleansed, and they are allowed to keep living. Demons take on sins by becoming cotton to absorb them. They are exterminated and washed down the stream, and then the village is forgiven. They are forgiven for their sins. If that's all true, then Hanyu, or rather, Oyashiro-sama, is a tragic existence. I've asked Hanyu about this before. Then she told me the following story. 4 people are stuck in a snowy mountain cabin. They play a game while each sitting in one of the 4 corners. It's a weirdly phrased sentence. It's a fairly well-known story. It's in the middle of winter. They're all getting sleepy. If they fall asleep, they'll die. So one of them comes up with an idea. They're sitting in the 4 corners of the room, so someone just has to walk clockwise to the next corner and wake up the person sitting in that corner. The one who just will sit in that corner, and the one who just woke up will get up, walk to the next corner, and wake up the person sitting there. If they keep doing that, nobody will fall asleep. People who know this story won't need an explanation, but this doesn't work with 4 people. When the first person gets up, their corner becomes empty. So after everyone takes turns, the 4th person goes to the next corner, which is an empty one. They sit down and fall asleep, so the game is over right there, and everyone freezes to death. In other words, to play this game, you need more than 4 people. You need 1 more person in order to be saved. People usually tell this as a ghost story. They usually say that this was actually a group of 5 people, but 1 was already dead thanks to that ghost. They're able to continue living until the next morning. Hanyu once told me that she's like the 5th person. If she can make everything run smoothly by joining a circle of people, then it's very similar to how the telephone game in the mountain cabin manages to function without breaking. Hanyu can complete a circle that can't be realized by people alone. Then those people can live peacefully. She's an existence that completes a circle. Is she bothered by her horns because it reminds her of the time when she was called a demon and punished for the sins she took in? Is her subconscious still tormenting her with thoughts that those who have horns ought to be persecuted? She was born with those horns. She was hated and abused because of them.
Really? I definitely shouldn't have said anything, huh?
And just because she has those horns, she had to take in everyone's sins and cleanse them. She did that, and then she was worshipped as a god.
Huh? A god?
I was talking to myself. Forget about it.
Huh?
Nobody knows who Hanyu really is. Is she really a divine existence that descended from a higher place? Or is she simply an unlucky girl who became a sacrifice just because she had a pair of horns? Nobody knows, but this girl's blood was blended with the Furude family's blood, and that blood has descended into me. Our legends state that if the Furude family has a girl for their firstborn child for 8 generations in a row, that 8th child will be the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm that 8th generation. Is that why I was the only person who could see Hanyu? 8 generations is a very long time. Maybe that's how long it took for all the sins Hanyu assumed to be cleared. 8 represents affinity. It's a very lucky number. Often curses uttered will contain, I curse you for 7 generations, but the 8th lies beyond that. In other words, 8 possesses such a good fortune that it can forgive great curses and sins that have spanned 7 generations. It's a number with power. It's the time Hanyu needed to cleanse all the sins she took in from the humans. Hanyu and her people simply wanted to coexist with us. But Hanyu had become a sacrifice. Her stomach was cut open and its contents washed down the stream when she was thrown into the swamp. Then she was thrown into the swamp. And so, the Furude family has been waiting. They waited for a very long time for her to come back. They kept our traditions alive, waiting forever and ever for her to return. According to legend, the name Furude was made by adding a horn to the character for fortune teller. The Furude family rose when Hanyu's bloodline was combined with that of human beings. Hanyu is the ancestor of the Furude family, as well as the mother of us all. When I was little, Hanyu taught me a lot more things than my mother did. It's no wonder. I'm her descendant. The curse on the clan who exorcised and buried their very own mother was finally absolved after 8 generations, what seemed like eternity. And then she's met me, her descendant, the final generation of the Furude family. Sometimes, when I think about that, I feel like there must be important meaning in this hapless fate thrust upon me. What kind of meaning could the trial I face, the trial of breaking through the obstacles sealing my fate, have upon the curse that plagued Hanyu and the Furude family over a millennium? 1,000 years is simply too long a period to communicate thoughts and intentions correctly. Hanyu has become the curse we call Yashiro-sama. Though she originally was a means of salvation, she has become a chain that binds people. The rules about coexistence were misinterpreted as a law that binds villagers to this place, and that continued until the Meiji era. And while the village winds once again blow toward the misunderstanding of isolation thanks to the damn conflict, how does that play into my meeting with Hanyu and this motley fate we're trapped in? I haven't lived long enough to be able to understand that. The only thing I can say for sure is that the Furude family originated when Hanyu's bloodline mixed with that of humans, and the line's final descendant, me, finally met with its ancestor. The Furude family's bloodline bears a cursed history of placing all of man's sins onto its mother and killing her. Now, the beginning and end of that line have met. Hanyu always wanted to join everyone, yet she couldn't hide her horns. Even so, she still wished to be an existence that completes a circle. Hit. I don't know. It's a child's job to bury their parents.
But mother, I've never heard that it's a child's
It
job.
might be Hanyu.
Is
one.
this Hanyu?
It might be Hanyu first, and then
Hanyu 1?
Furude.
Oh, okay. Hanyu. Oh, it's a child's job to bury their parents.
But mother, I've never heard that it's a child's job to kill and bury their parents.
Don't ask, child. I'm not human. My horns are proof that I'm a demon. A demon's job is to take on the calamities of the human world. Bearing the calamities of this chaotic world and cleansing the unrest in mankind's hearts is my role.
Then mother, why do you have to be the one? People's sins are people's sins. They aren't yours.
Listen, child. People live with their sins. They can't live without making someone else take the blame. Nobody wants to take the blame, so they shift that responsibility around. That is a demon, the true demon disrupting the world of man. By bearing it myself, man may be cleansed, and mankind can be freed from their destiny of doubt and conflict. Let all the sins, the filth, the karma, and the curse come to me. Then attack me, purify me, and wash me down the stream and throw me in the swamp. A human will not do. So it is the fate of one not human to accept that role. If a human were made to bear it, then mankind would not be freed from the demon of doubt.
I don't understand. I don't understand, mother. Mother, you have horns. Are you saying that you aren't human just because you have horns? That even if you are human, the horns make you non-human? Even if you have horns, you're human to me.
My child, you're the only one who's ever said that. Even if everyone else calls me redacted or redacted, you still call me human.
What is passed down in the Furude family's many forbidden scrolls, the ones unknown to even the heads of the 3 families, sealed in the altar of the shrine storage. Understanding that would probably require about as much time as I've spent repeating time. Yet once you understand that, perhaps you'll better understand the smile Hanyu wears as she innocently plays with everyone.
Are you okay? I heard. Is this Rika or?
I don't know.
I heard Mianya was surprised. This is definitely Rika because you pull her out of the flashback, and then she's here. You know?
I heard Mian yell with surprise. Something must have happened.
I'm so smart. What is it? What's going on? Han-yu-san tripped and tumbled down the hill over there.
Hanyu-chan, are you okay?
That's the hill that Rika falls down. She rolled beautifully, but I hope she didn't sprain her ankle or anything. Let's go look.
Hanyu had been playing on the slope and tumbled down it. There's a road just below the slope. Mion and the others went down the stairs to get to her. Let's go. I hope she isn't injured.
Hanyu's leg is at like a 90 degree. Hanyu's leg is at like a 90-degree angle, and she's like, "That's the first thing I felt in years or centuries."
When I got there, I saw Tomatake-san and Takano-san. They were taking care of her.
She sees Takano and immediately just stabs her through the heart.
Tomatake flash!
Holy fucking shit! I forgot he's in this game. Hey, Keiichi-kun, what happened? Hey, we just saw her roll down the hill.
She did tumble quite...
Oh.
You forget they're in the game, and then remember that they're an incredibly important plot point in the game. Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to do her voice. She did tumble beautifully, though. But I think she hit her head, so I'm sure she'll get a bump later. Make sure you put some ice on it, okay?
It's the... and
Okay.
that I have to...
You have to pull out. I don't know. I think.
Hanyu!
Hey, can you hear us? Look, how many fingers do you see?
I don't know Sadako. I can't tell.
It's at least 3. Oh.
She sounded disoriented, but didn't appear to be injured. What a relief for everyone. I bet she's just feeling dizzy from rolling. Oh, I'm glad you're not hurt.
Just think, though. How lucky are you to have a nurse waiting for you down here? What perfect timing.
Well, when I'm not working, I'm a wild bird photographer. Right, Jiro-san?
All right, Takano. All right, dude. Yeah, I guess. A Hinamizawa kid would never get hurt from something like that. In other words, you're already one of us, Hanyu. Attaboy, Keiichi. Good save. Good save, buddy.
Hanyu-chan? Is that your name? I've never seen you before. Are you new around here?
And then the eyes of a fucking
Predator
lion stalking their
Just
prey,
fucking-
just like, you.
What's the fucking button? Like spacebar or some shit?
What?
To hide this... Yeah. The eyes of a predator.
Hold on. I have it. Wait. Where is he?
Here's the picture.
I have a picture. It's in here. What the fuck is it? Why do I save so much shit, man? Oh my god, I've saved too much shit.
Incredible.
Yeah, something talking at, right?
Well, yes, she is. She transferred in just last Monday.
What are these? How peculiar.
fuck. Peculiar. I don't know how to say that word.
Peculiar?
In her voice. What are these? How peculiar. Are they some kind of toy? Takano-san tried to poke at one of Hanyu's horns. They'd be an interesting hair accessory, if they were an accessory.
That's what's cute about Hanyu-chan. Please don't touch them, though.
Oh, is that so? I don't think they're that cute, though. After all, they look just like a monster, don't they?
Thank you, RPG Maker Ryukishi. Dude, Takano knows. Takano knows.
Suddenly Hanyu moaned as if suffocating.
Takano, Hanyu isn't a monster. Don't ever say that again.
She's pissed. That's right, Takano-san. That was mean.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Keiichi, Rika-chan said it rather firmly. I'm sure Hanyu doesn't want to hear that word. Sometimes Takano-san says things in a derogatory way without realizing it herself. But I guess there are things you can't or shouldn't say. Hanyu was looking at Takano-san with a complicated look on her face. After seeing that expression, Takano-san realized she might have hurt her feelings. She apologized and left with Tomitake Flash. Are you okay? Hanyu, you landed beautifully too, so you're not injured. Oh, God. Rika, that person. Ow, ow.
Her? That's Takano.
Takano. Hanyu repeated Takano-san's name. All of a sudden, I grew worried that she hit her head or something. Hanyu stood straight up and grabbed Rika-chan's collar. Dude. Rika. Ow, ow, ow! It's Takano.
That's right. She's Takano.
No, Rika. Takano. Don't you remember?
I know. Mio Takano, right? From the EVA clinic.
You can't remember.
Sorry, Hanyu. What are you talking about?
Rika. This can't be.
This is the last one. Hey, you can. This might be her. This is Hanyu.
Hanyu, I guess. This is the last one. The last one. She finally imprinted herself with the true enemy's name while enduring the pain of her stomach being cut open, and yet she can't remember. Rika Furude has failed to inherit the memory of the fragments.
Uh-oh.
Okay? Sure, man. Like, alright, I guess.
It's fucking Jover.
Yeah,
It's Jover.
Common Rika L, fucking L plus bozo, dude. Like,
So we got a bunch of fucking Furude lore there.
oh my god.
Alright, thank you, Oishi.
Thank you,
next
Oishi.
time.
We'll see you next time when I figure out what the fuck that one Akasaka song is called, so I can put it in my playlist. Is that shit bang?
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, the
Furude,
the fucking Furude lore.
Yeah. I'm gonna freeze frame like the freeze screen before it starts playing music and everything.
Okay, alright.
So
I mean, it's cool. It makes a lot of sense. I just like, we're at the point where like things have gone so off the fucking rails to where you're just kind of along for the ride, you know?
what do you think of the Forbidden Furude documents?
Yeah, I do think the Forbidden Furude documents are pretty interesting. I also think the take of like, oh, mankind is the real demons. It's like, all right, Ryukishi.
Well, the demons
come
taking on the sins of mankind to.
Yeah, but like the implications.
Yeah.
Like Dennis would say, it's the implications. No, I think it's cool. I like the whole gimmick of like Hanyu is stuck in cock and ball torture for the rest of eternity because she decided to take on mankind's sin. And then now that she's in the play space, it's time to dance and you will never get to loop again. So figure it out or L plus Bozo leave.
Alright.
Like, I'm interested to see how Akasaka plays into all this. I hope he fucking kills Takano with his bare hands.
What did they say last time? His arms are like
Lethal weapons.
lethal weapons?
Yeah. Akasaka's the type of guy where in that freeze frame from the last game where Keiichi's like, I'm gonna die, Akasaka would be able to move at normal speed in that and like move him out the way and like catch the bullet. That's the type of guy Akasaka is.
Armor piercing weapons.
I love Akasaka, man.
Oh man.
Oh,
Alright.
He's the GOAT. Next time.
Next time, still MLK Day.
Woo.